Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A video, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, so let's get started. So I asked on my Facebook, my Twitter, and my Snapchat questions, and I only asked like an hour ago, so I just wanted to get going. So the first question is, when are me and Steven having kids? Well, since I'm 19 and he's 20, I plan on waiting a while. If, we were here in Idaho with our family and stuff like that, it probably wouldn't be as long, but right now, we plan on waiting 5 or 6 years. We're waiting that long because, one, we live in Illinois right now, away from our families. We're 27 hours away, and that's if you're driving, I guess, like an 8-hour flight. So yeah, we're waiting at least 5 or 6 years, so we'll be around 25 or 26 when we decide to have children. Okay. And then this was Steven's question. I let Steven ask a question, and his is kind of random, so I guess this is kind of funny. Okay. If I could be a superhero, who would I be and why? I really don't know. I guess I'm just going to say, I don't really know. I guess Wonder Woman or something. I don't know. As long as I could fly, I'd be fine. But yeah. That one's kind of weird, so whatever, Steven. And then his second question, because he has two, if I could be an actor, who would I be and why? And I'm just going to say actor, actress. I would say Lea Michele, because 1, I love her. 2, I love her. 3, I wish I could sing as good as her. And 4, I just love her. Alrighty. And the fourth question, what am I going to school for? So I think I've mentioned this in past videos, but I'm currently going to school for elementary education. I just recently started classes up again last week, so I'm going into my second week of summer classes. So yeah, I've done a lot of volunteering in different elementary school classrooms and stuff like that, so that's what I definitely want to do. So that is what I'm going to school for. And this, I guess, is technically my sophomore year, I guess. I took some time off for the wedding and surgeries and stuff like that, so I guess it's my sophomore year. So I'll be going summer, and then in the fall, and then again in the spring, and then I think I'll take the summer off. So I'll be going to school all 3 semesters this year, so wish me luck. Alrighty, the next one. How many kids do I want? So Steve and I have talked about this before. Right now we want at least 4, and I know some of you are probably what? You want 4? Yeah, we at least want 4. I would say 6, and I even went through a time where I was yeah, I want 8 kids. I don't know why, but I think at least between 4 and 6. But I don't want an odd number, so I think we're probably either going to have either 4 or 6, or we're going to have 2 and then just decide nope. But right now, as we have 0 children and just 1 dog, we want 4 or 6 kids. Okay, and this question is completely different from all of the other questions. The other questions were just kind of for fun, hey. But this question is, what happened with my biological parents? So, I don't know if I've even ever mentioned this on this channel before, but I'm currently living with my, I guess, adopted parents and my adopted, siblings. They didn't really adopt me, but I'll just get into that. So, when I was 15 years old, both of my parents, my biological parents, they were basically on the verge of getting a divorce. My dad at the time, left us and moved to California, and then, and we were living here in Idaho, so he left, went to California, and then my mom was like doing drugs heavily, and she didn't have a job, didn't have, anything, so we were like getting evicted from our house. Like the electricity was out, like the eviction notice was like on the front door, like all of that stuff. So I just decided that I couldn't live there anymore, and it was kind of like an abusive situation as well with me and my younger siblings. We would go days without food in the house. We would go days with like our mom just gone, and we'd have no idea where she is. We'd come home from school. Well, I would come home from school to a locked door, and I would have to go to one of the neighbors' house until like my mom came home like hours later. So I finally like begged for a house key so I could get in the house after school. But yeah, like I would, walk myself to school. It'd be like pouring down rain. I'd walk, and then I'd come home at the end of the day, and it would just be locked. The front door would be locked. So I remember like sitting on the front porch, doing my homework, and just waiting for them to come home. Like even in the middle of the winter, sometimes, like I'd be sitting on the front porch in like 8-degree weather, waiting for somebody to come home. So that, it was kind of crazy. And then again, like drugs. And during that time, my grandma had passed away just a few months. Well, I guess it was almost a year after, like, my grandma passed away, and then everything started to go downhill from there. So my grandma passed away in October. My dad moved out in, like, June. And then eviction and everything started hitting, like, end of July, beginning of August. And then at that time I was with my friends. I was staying at her house for, like, weeks at a time, just because, like, my parents didn't care where I was ever, and I felt safer there at that time, so that's where I would be. So I would go to my friend's house and hang out, and then I just would slowly bring my things over. So I'd spend like 2 weeks there, and then I'd go home for a night, and then bring more clothes over for like another 2 weeks, and then go home for a night and grab some more stuff. And I just slowly like moved my stuff out without even saying anything to my mom. She didn't really care. And then finally one day, was in August before school started. I just showed up and I said, "Okay, I'm here to get my dresser, my bed, and like a few other big things that I had." And she said, "Wow, you're just moving out?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Okay." And then I left, and I never went back. So that was my junior year of high school. So I was just about to turn 16, and I lived with my friends for a year and a half. And then I moved in with a former teacher and her husband, and then their daughter, and now they're my parents. They're my mom and dad, and then now I have my younger sister and then another little sister. And yeah, so that's kind of how that turned out. And then I guess I'll kind of explain my relationship with everybody else in my family, my biological family. So my mom, she's referred to as Michelle. She's on a first name basis. I don't even call her mom, even when I'm talking about her to like her friends or my biological siblings. I refer to her as Michelle. She's still doing drugs, heavily doing drugs, and actually just recently, my younger brother was killed in a car accident. And so he had just turned 16, and this happened, this was not even a month ago. So she copes with things by drinking heavily and getting high and just all of that stuff. So that's kind of where she is right now, and that's where she has been for a while. Even like grieving or not, she's always handled things like with I have $5, let's see how many drugs I can get with $5. Let's see what kind of alcohol I can get with $5. It's not like, we don't have milk for the kids, and I have $5, like I'm going to spend it on drugs instead of that. So that's where she is, and that's where she has been for as long as I can remember, at least since I was 12 years old, so going on like 8 years. Okay, so my camera totally just died, so I had it on the charger for like 20 minutes, so I could finish this video, and in the meantime, I got some more questions. But I was talking about my biological family, So I already talked about my mom, so now my dad, I think. Yeah, okay, so I'm on a first name basis with him, so anytime I see him, it's Joe. Um, in front of any other family, it's Joe. Right now, he is currently driving truck. Like he drives long haul trucks, I guess. So his main like station is in Dallas, Texas. So he's there. He has a job. He's doing pretty well for himself, and all that's great. He doesn't really talk to me like ever. Just recently, I think I mentioned my younger brother passing away. Um, so that was pretty hard on him. He had nowhere to really go. He was in Texas, and his company paid for a bus ticket up to Idaho, northern Idaho. So that took like a day and a half, 2 days for him to get here. I offered to pick him up from the bus station because he had nobody else. Him and Michelle, I guess I should say, aren't getting along, like, at all. He has divorce papers, like, ready to go, and just, here you go, sign them. But obviously, coming home for a funeral was not a good time to hand over divorce papers, so that I completely understand. But, so he got up here, me and my mom, my, like, adoptive mom, I guess, her name's Cherokee, we went and picked him up from the bus stop, in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and took him to our house, and he showered, and he ate, and my fan is on above me, so my hair is probably, like, blowing around everywhere. But, anyways, like, he showered, he ate, he made a couple phone calls, like, he had some coffee, he just sat at our house for a while, and, like, you know, kind of took time to just take it all in, and, like, for him to be home. So I did that for him, even though I hadn't heard from him, like, a year prior to that. He just stopped texting me altogether, stopped texting, stopped calling, and all of that stuff. So, but when my brother passed away, like, I did my best to keep in contact with everybody from my biological family, whether or not I was fighting with them or, you know, whatever. At times like that, it's just, you know, so what? I don't really get along with these people, but a part of our family just passed away, so, you know, we kind of have to put our differences aside to be there for each other and, you know, do all that stuff. So that's what I did. Again, now it's like 2 weeks after the funeral, and haven't heard from any of my family. So yeah, so also on my biological family, I have an older brother. He's about 10 years older than me, so he's like 28, 29. Me and him talk all the time. He has 2 kids, and he's, my niece Rain and my nephew Ryden, and he's married. So I get along with my sister-in-law, my brother, all of them. Like, he's my brother. He's still, you know, all of that. Get along with him. He's doing very well for himself and his kids and his wife. They're all doing really, really well. So there's nothing wrong there. I have an older sister, Taryn. She's about 7 years older than me. So she's like 26. She has a son named Bo. He's 3 years old. Taryn is into drugs very, very heavily. So we're trying to get my nephew out of that situation, but that's like another story. So yeah, she's on drugs. I don't talk to her. My nephew barely knows who I am, and that breaks my heart, but I can only do so much with that. So yeah, she's kind of exactly like Michelle. And then I am next. I'm the middle child. Obviously, you know me. Going to college, married, never have done drugs a day in my life. Okay, I have had some alcohol, but at, 19, who hasn't had some? So that, okay, one thing. But other than that, I don't do anything like meth or anything, so that's great. I don't have any children. I have a dog. That's cool. The worst thing that I've done, I think, is have 7 surgeries on my foot. That's about it. Those are the highest drugs I've been on. Some, like, prescription pain pills, only taken as needed. So yeah. And then after me is my younger sister, Tyranny. She just turned 18 in April. She has a daughter who is 5 months old, little baby Paisley. Tyranny went down the wrong path for a while, turned to drugs, turned to some, you know, alcohol, got into some relationships that she shouldn't have at a young age, and then now she got pregnant when she was 17. Basically dropped out of school. She's only really finished 7th or 8th grade, and then got pregnant. Then, she hasn't had a job. She doesn't have a driver's license. She's currently trying to get her GED online, so that I applaud her for. Other than that, I don't really talk to her all that much. I do try and see my niece as much as I can, and we try to help Tierney as much as we can. Like, Cherokee has actually babysat Paisley, so that's just the kind of relationship we have. After my brother passing away, our relationship has kind of strained, I guess. I've still talked to her and done my best to be there for her, but she isn't, I guess, wanting that or taking me up on anything. I say, come over to my house, we can watch movies, we can just hang out, we can hang out with the baby, like, do all this stuff, and she always tells me no, and, she says no, and then she just won't text me for a while. So, I mean, that's on her, but I do still try, and I can only do so much in that aspect, so yeah. And then, we had a younger brother. His name was Trenton, and he just recently did pass away, on May 15th. So, he was in a car accident. The driver, we don't know if he was under the influence of anything, but on his person he did have some drugs. My nephew, Bo, was in the back seat of the car. Thank God he was in a car seat, but the driver and then my brother both were not wearing seatbelts at the time. So my brother was ejected from the vehicle and killed on impact. So that is something that I am still trying to cope with and deal with, but he had just turned 16. He was in 8th grade because, like I said, with all the stuff with my biological parents, them splitting up and getting evicted and not having any money to do anything, they were moving around, they were homeless, and I was fortunate enough to get out of that situation, but they weren't. Tierney and Trenton were not. So he dropped out of school because him moving around, there wasn't really a school for him to go to, and that was same with Tierney. But he just recently decided at the beginning of this year that he was going to go back to school, so he started at 8th grade. He was supposed to be a sophomore in high school, but again, he only completed 7th grade, so he had to go back and do 8th grade, and then go on from there. I mean, he was doing as good as he could in the situation that he was in. Again, with my biological mother, things were kind of tough, and so I think he would have just taken any out he could have, and actually, like, over the summer, he was going to go on the road with Joe, like he would any, like, spring break. He went on the road with him for the week. Summer vacations, he would go on the road with him and get out, which was really good for him, but yeah, so that tragedy recently occurred. But yeah, not to, like, be weird, but I'm gonna move on to some other questions because now my mood is, like, super low. So I got some other questions just off of the internet, and I hope that I, like, covered that, like, as in-depth as possible. And again, I don't have any contact with Michelle. I don't have any contact with Joe anymore. I don't have any contact with Taryn. Tierney's on the rocks, and then my brother Tyler and I have a great relationship, but as of right now, my parents are Cherokee and Paul. Cherokee's my mom, Paul's my dad, Brinley is my little sister, Blake is my little sister, and that's how it is. It's not, like, they don't question it. They, if somebody asks, hey, Cherokee, how many kids do you have? 3. Not 2, and then we adopted 1. It's always 3, so, I'm not just the random person living in their house, like, I am part of the family. So, yeah. So again, I hope I answered that, like, well enough. But if anybody has any other questions about my biological situation, comment below or tweet at me, and I will try to do my best to respond. Okay, so, again, I got these random questions just off the internet because, I mean, why not? Okay, so first one, which actually is like 7th question or something. What is your middle name? My middle name, sadly, is Michelle. I really can't stand it, as you guys can probably figure out after just talking about my biological family. My middle name is after my biological mom. And I mean, it flows well with my name, but I just personally don't like it. What is my favorite color? My favorite color is pink, which a lot of people wouldn't guess from like the type of person I am, I guess. But yes, my favorite color is pink. Who was your first best friend? I'm gonna have to go with Jessica Monroe from like 4th grade. She was like my first real best friend. Yeah, definitely, because in elementary school I was a little jerk and I didn't really like have that many friends, and then I moved around a lot until we got to Idaho. So like I moved schools like every year, so I never really made like a best friend, but Jessica would probably be my first best friend. How tall are you? I'm 5'6". Cats or dogs? I'm gonna have to go with dogs, because dogs don't claw you, dogs don't hiss at you. I mean, yeah, they bark, but I don't know. Like dogs, you actually like, I don't know, you can take your dog on a walk, you can take your dog on a run. Your cat is just gonna be laying on your couch sleeping all day, so what fun is that? Funniest moment throughout school. I'm gonna have to go with like the 6th grade talent show that I decided to do. I did a dance to Hot and Cold by Katy Perry, and the dance was pretty awful, and now like it wasn't funny at the time, I guess, because I thought I was super cool, but now like looking back on it, pretty hilarious. Okie doke. What is your favorite drink? Okay, so non-alcoholic drink, I would have to say a Rebel from Dutch Bros. I don't know if everybody has Dutch Bros where they're from, but basically it's a Rebel, which is similar to Red Bull, but it's Dutch Bros' own like thing, I guess, brand of energy drink. And then right now I like the Tiger's Blood, Stoplight, and Laser Cat Rebels are my 3 fave, and they're really similar. Like, I think the Tiger's Blood is strawberry coconut, Stoplight is pomegranate, passion fruit, kiwi, and Laser Cat is strawberry pomegranate or something. So they're all pretty much the same, but I really like them. And then alcoholic drink, I'm gonna have to go with Mike's Hard Lemonades. The black cherry one is my favorite, and I know it's like super sweet, but that's why I like it, because I can drink a bunch of them and like be perfectly fine. Alrighty, what is my favorite animal? Elephants. I someday will go to Africa and I will ride a damn elephant. Like one day it will happen. What is my favorite perfume? I have a Victoria's Secret, I guess it's like a pink brand, Hot Crush or something like that. I don't know, it's in a red bottle, and it smells heavenly, and I'm almost out, and Steven bought it for me. One of the first times like I was visiting in St. Louis, I think, he bought me that perfume, so that was really cool, and it's almost gone. What would you name your children? So, Steve and I have already talked about this, even though I, answered the question, we're not having kids for, another 5 years. We have names, picked out, I guess, and they've actually, I've had one name picked out for, 4 years, and it still hasn't changed. But I don't really want to say it on here because I don't want anybody to, steal it. But Steven really likes the name Stella for a girl, and I, at first was no. And then I, was okay, maybe. And now I'm starting to like it more, the more we talk about it. But we do have names picked out. I just don't want to share them. Okay. What sports do you play or have played? So, I'm kind of a klutz, but in junior high I played basketball, and I was really terrible at it, but it was something to do, so that was fun. High school came around and I did competitive cheer outside of school. It was like a club thing, I guess. But then I sprained my wrist doing that, and I was also playing tennis at the same time, so I sprained my wrist, and so I was kind of done with both. And then it's not really like a sport, but throughout high school I did the powder puff, like flag football that was there like every October or something. We had one powder puff game. It was like the freshmen and the seniors versus sophomores and juniors. So, I mean, I did that. It was flag football, but, yeah, so that was cool. Who are some of your favorite YouTubers? Okay, top favorite right now, KK and Baby J. OK Baby, Jess Fam, and Brittany and Baby. Those are my top 4. And then I watch Ellie and Jared a lot. Sometimes I skip a day because I'm like really terrible at that, but then when I have like a slow day, I'll just catch up on like all the vlogs and I'll watch like 9 videos in one day, so that's pretty cool. What is my favorite movie? It varies. My favorite like all-time movie is The Lion King, because I'm like a Disney freak and The Lion King is just a movie that I will watch constantly. I'd either say like Lion King or Peter Pan for some reason. I don't know why I love Peter Pan so much, but it's such a good movie. But right now, the new Beauty and the Beast, like, live-action movie, and I wasn't a fan of the live-action Alice in Wonderland or Cinderella or anything, but I gave the Beauty and the Beast a try, and I super love it. Like, it's awesome. Everybody should watch it. Favorite memory from childhood? This one I, like, really have to think about. I guess it's probably every Halloween, we would go over to my grandparents' house, Mir and Papa's, and Mir would do our makeup for, like, our costume, and, like, we'd get all dressed up, and then we would go out the back door, walk around the house, and trick-or-treat at my grandparents' house first, before we went trick-or-treating anywhere else. And my grandparents, like, both Mir and Papa, would answer the door and pretend like they had no idea who we were, like, just random kids coming, you know, and so we'd take pictures and, you know, do all that fun stuff. So that's probably one of my favorite memories, and I actually want to do that, like, with our kids one day, like, you know, whether we go over to a grandparent's house or if it's just at our house, like, I want to be able to continue those memories on, because those are, like, my favorite childhood memories. Okay. How would you describe your fashion sense? Well, as I sit here in a sweatshirt and jeans, I'd pretty much say sweatshirt and jeans is my, like, go-to. During the summer, it's really just a comfy t-shirt and shorts. Spring, fall, and winter is basically jeans and a sweatshirt or a sweater or something. I don't know, some days I look cute, other days I look like this, so, you know, the usual. What is your favorite restaurant? So I guess it depends on, like, where I am. Here in Idaho, I don't really have, like, a favorite. I really like Texas Roadhouse, but those are, again, everywhere, and it's not even, like, that great of a restaurant. But, like, I love McDonald's, like, to death. Like, chicken nuggets for life is my, like, motto. But, like, in Illinois, we went, I can't remember the name of it. Frick, we went to this restaurant. It was a breakfast restaurant, and it was really good, and I can't remember the name of it. Anyways, skip over that. In Albuquerque, New Mexico, it's this hibachi grill. I can't pronounce the name of it, but it's where they, like, cook your food right in front of you. And I always get filet mignon with fried rice, the vegetables, and shrimp. And filet mignon cooked medium rare, or just rare, and it's, like, to die for. But yeah, like steak, if you have steak and you have, like, some sort of potatoes or vegetable, like, you're good. It's a good place. Okay, what phone do you have? I have the Pixel XL by Google, the black one. and I'm in love with it. I went from an iPhone to this, and I love it. Tell us one of your bad habits. Okay, I bite my nails. Really, 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 really bad. Like, I'll grow them out, and I'll be like, okay, I need to go get them done. Like, they're grown out. But then before I even get to that appointment, I already bite my nails off. So that's cool. That's great of me. How many tattoos do you have, and what are they of, and what is their meaning? Okay, so I'm gonna try and like insert pictures in like right about here of my tattoos. So I'll start with like the first one. The first one I have is on my left shoulder. It's a orange and black koi fish, and it has mirror written next to it. And for my grandma. My second one I got on my arm right here. Me and Steven got like matching ones, so mine says forever and his says and always. And then my third tattoo is right here on my forearm, and it's with my mom. So it says, I am because you are. And that's just like a meaning that we have, like, I wouldn't be where I am without her, and she wouldn't be where she is without me, so we, like, kind of, I don't know, complete each other. Like, I don't know, it's really kind of hard to explain. But then my fourth tattoo is also on my left shoulder. It's a koi fish, again, but this one is blue and black, and this one says Papa on it. So, my grandma passed away first. She passed away on Halloween of 2012. And then my grandpa passed away May 25th of last year. So I finally got his tattoo, and my mirror tattoo I only got like a year and a half ago, when I was finally 18, so I got that. But those kind of go together, so it's like they're swimming around each other, so I'll like hopefully insert a picture. And then my fifth tattoo is on my ribs. I got a tattoo with my best friend. It's just like a heart that doesn't close all the way. And she like explained the meaning of it to me, and it was like exactly what I wanted, and like kind of I had the same meaning of it that she did, but I didn't even have to say it. Like, she just said it perfectly for me. And that's just because so you have to learn how to love yourself, but still let others in and let others love you. So that's why the heart isn't closed. That little opening is to let others in and to let others love you just as much as you love yourself. So I thought that was super cool. We both got it on our right side, and it's really small. It's probably like that big, but I still like absolutely love it. And hers has a sunflower around it, but mine is just the black outline of a heart. So yeah, that is like all the questions. I hope I answered them like a-okay. I hope I wasn't talking too fast. I hope my fan like is fine and isn't too loud. I hope the lighting is good. But yeah, so now that it's 11 o'clock at night, I'm gonna go to bed, and I will upload this video like in the morning or something, because I'm too tired for this. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. I want to do more Q&A videos down the road once I get more subscribers and more people to ask me questions, so that I don't have to look up lists online. But I had a lot of fun answering those questions and talking about some stuff. So yeah, see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.